It is time to get your house in order. The magistrate did not mince words when she addressed the investigating officer and the prosecutor after day 3 of Tiffany's bail hearing. Now, before I get into that, Tiffany Meek is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and these are all allegations against her. Now, firstly, we're going to be talking about what Tiffany was wearing and her demeanor in court. So Tiffany was looking more stoic today. She was writing, but she wasn't writing as much as yesterday. And she was still wearing that beanie, and she had like a patterned jacket with different colors and a black top underneath. And I noticed she was wearing this chain. And I've seen her in many videos where she was out protesting, where she was wearing the same chain, the same chain. So I don't know if it's something that has special importance to her or not, but that's what she was wearing. And people have said that she is being dressed strategically so that she looks a certain way, so people will feel sorry for her. That is what the word on the street is. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what Tiffany's usual fashion style is. Maybe it's really cold in the courtroom and the beanie's there to keep her head warm. Now, I'm going to start talking a little bit about the problems that came out today with the police investigation. And this is still the prosecutor's case. We haven't even gotten to Mr. Naidu, who I'm afraid is probably going to make mincemeat out of this investigating officer tomorrow. Because there's one word for the investigating officer today, and that was that he was unprepared. He stumbled a lot to the point where the magistrate had to interrupt and ask him direct questions. She got visibly upset with him and irritated at some points, in my own opinion. And I get why, because there's a lot of documents that are missing. So some of the documents that are missing, I'm going to go through them, are the crime scene log. So the crime scene log is basically a document that states when people come into a crime scene and leave. This includes like the photographer, the forensics, the sniffer dog, all of these things, right? Now, the investigating officer says that this is in the possession of Captain Hoffman, but Captain Hoffman hasn't been presented at court yet. As far as I know, the log hasn't been presented, and we don't know if that scene was secure, because we do know that on the 16th, when he arrived to come and collect evidence, one of the family members let him in. So we don't know how that crime scene was secured, and if it even was secured in the first place. And that smells a lot like reasonable doubt to me. Another thing is that there was a community petition that was missing that the magistrate demanded to see, which could not be produced. So the investigating officer has to go find it tonight to submit it into evidence. And basically, the photos, there's a whole lot of photos that are missing. So according to the investigating officer, on the 14th, that is the day that Jaden was found, there was a photographer who took a video of the whole crime scene. And in this video, you could see, if you pause it at just the right point, you could see the school bag, right? You could see the school bag, and then you could see school shoes and a school jacket, which I'm going to get to later. And the stills from this video and the video itself, from my understanding, have not yet been produced for the court. So we don't know, right? Along with the school bag. Now, the investigating officer would say on the 16th, this is 2 days afterwards, he arrived at the scene and he collected the school bag. And he opened the school bag and he found a lunchbox. And he also found a report card, which was in Jaden's name, which was possibly an old report card because we know school term hadn't finished. And he also found workbooks with the day's work in from the 13th of May. So that signifies that that was the same school bag that Jaden went to school with. But the problem is that the photographs of that were not produced in court today, even though photographs were taken. And the magistrate said that she wants to see those. She needs to see those photographs. The pathologist report with Jaden's injuries was also discussed. And if you are sensitive, now is your time to give me a like and leave. And basically, what we learned is that he had no defensive injuries. He had a cut above his right eye, and he had a cut. These are very small cuts, 1 centimeter by 0.3 centimeter, level to his lip here, his lower lip, and which is probably almost his chin area, as those cuts on the chin that we heard about. And we also know that he had a bruise, a significant bruise, on his right arm, just above his elbow. So I'm going to say like around here, right? And this bruise was 5 centimeters times 3 centimeters long. And this is me speculating. I always say when I speculate, and I would think that that is from someone grabbing him hard and pulling. Now, the problem with the pathologist's report, and toxicology was performed that came out clean. The problem with the pathologist's report is that there was no time of death. So time of death was missing. And the magistrate even called that out. She said, why is there no time of death? Because we need to know from the timeline when the pathologist estimates that death actually occurred. Now, we're going to go on to some other things here. So the investigating officer, and this just floored me, when he went into the flat on the 16th, when he was let in by a family member to collect that school bag, he said he saw underwear, but it was not bloodstained, and this is in contradiction to Tiffany's affidavit. But what he did see that was bloodstained was a bloody towel that was lying next to a drain in the bathroom. And he didn't collect it. When he was asked why he didn't collect it, he said that, oh no, it didn't cross my mind. I mean, you notice a blood-stained towel and you don't collect it? And he's like, oh no, it's fine, I'll just go get it. I'll just go get it now, 2 months, 3 months later. That shocked me. That absolutely shocked me. Because why wouldn't you take the bloody towel into evidence along with the school bag, along with the other things you took, the pillow? Because right now, the only blood that we have heard about is the blood on the pillow. That is the only blood that we have heard of. We have not heard of any other blood, except from that private investigator who said there was blood under the bed or on the bed. But it has not come out in court that there was any other blood evidence besides from that pillow, which is quite shocking to me. We also have a DNA report missing that has not been produced in court today that the magistrate wants to see about the pillow. Because right now we have to take this officer at his word, right? Just as we have to take Tiffany at her word. And another thing is that there was a lot of documents being handed in court, and I forget which one, but one of them was a report from another officer, and the officer had forgotten to sign it, and the investigating officer was like, yeah, but I know her handwriting, I know who she is, I can identify her by her handwriting. That is not a signature. That is not a signature. Like, this seems to be a little bit slack for my taste. Now, I'm running out of time, so I'm going to go on to part 2 just after this.